Welcome to the Stepmom Side with Alicia, the podcast for stepmoms ready to create the life they want and one they actually have a say in. Here we talk all things stepmom life and just a little bit more. Leave the superficial conversations at the door and get ready for perspective shifts and actionable advice to help you on your way to creating the life you want, one step at a time. Hey there, welcome back to this mini series on the podcast about why blended families feel so hard and what actually helps. So if you've listened, we've talked about why you feel like an outsider in your own home, also so freaking relatable because same. The real reason you're resentful and why it isn't about the kids, like, oof, are you kidding me? The third one, why your partner support changes everything in a blended family. Once I had my husband's support, I felt like I was in a new world. I felt like Jasmine, a whole new world. You will never hear me sing publicly, and then here I just put on a podcast. But the last one that we're going to get into is about creating the perfect blended family. So welcome back to the Stepmom Side Podcast. I'm your host, Alicia, and let's jump into something that might feel incredibly freeing. The perfect blended family doesn't exist. And in case you're listening to this in a car or in AirPods where it's kind of noisy around, I'm just going to say it at normal level for you. The perfect blended family doesn't exist. I know. I just ruined someone's Pinterest board. But hear me out, okay? Hear me out. I think a lot of blended families struggle because they're chasing an unrealistic picture that was never possible to begin with. And I think that blended families aren't struggling because they are chasing an unrealistic picture that was never possible to begin with. I think it's the stepmom, honestly. And sometimes I think there's the pressure from the partner, but I think a lot of stepmoms, this is specifically true for me, I felt like this is going to be great. I'm going to be so good at this because I've always been so good at everything. I'm going to be so good at this. Kids always love me. These kids are going to love me. I'm going to jump in and everything is going to be awesome, from the beginning. That whole, everything is awesome when you're part of a team. Wrong. That does not apply in a blended family in the beginning, right? We all need to, learn where we fit in and figure out, where we fit in, right? So it's just an unrealistic picture that I had an unrealistic idea, an unrealistic, expectation. There we go. I definitely needed to manage my expectations, but I couldn't. I didn't. It was impossible to begin with. I definitely set myself up for failure. And then I assumed, or maybe you do too, something is wrong because real life doesn't look like fantasy. Real life doesn't look like fantasy. So the fantasy that we're sold is, and hopefully you're not sold this anymore because it's 2026 and you're online and you're listening to my podcast and right? But I feel like people that don't have exposure to blended families at all and then jump into one are where the hell did I just teleport to somewhere else? Whoa. So the fantasy that we're sold, an instant love, instant connection, equal relationships, happy family photos, everyone getting along, everyone loving family game night. Are you kidding me? You're right. Everyone acting like they've known each other forever. Newsflash, they haven't known each other forever. Nobody prepared us, though, for the awkwardness. Nobody prepared us for the grief. So much grief comes in with being in a blended family. Nobody prepared us for loyalty conflicts. Nobody prepared us for the fact that every relationship develops on a different timeline. And I think this is so freaking hard that every single relationship that you have in your blended family develops on a different timeline. You and your partner's relationship might have developed really quickly. Maybe you and one of your stepkids, your relationship develops really quickly and you guys get along. Maybe the other one develops at a much, much, much slower pace. That's okay. Some relationships click quickly. Others take years. And some may look different. They may always look different than you expected. There's grief in that, right? But I just want to tell you, that isn't failure. That's just being human. Sometimes you get along with some people really well, and sometimes you don't get along with some people really well. So now let's talk about the damage perfectionism causes. Perfectionism makes us force things. Listen, you already know what I'm talking about. We try to force closeness. We try to force family activities. We try to force conversations. We force expectations. There's that sneaky, crazy word again, expectations. And then we have the audacity to take it personally when people don't respond the way that we had hoped. Are you kidding me? So we become disappointed. We become frustrated. We become discouraged. Then we start comparing. That family looks happier. That family is wearing matching jerseys. That stepmom looks more connected. That marriage looks easier. Comparison convinces us that everyone else has it figured out. Spoiler, they haven't. Everyone else has hard moments. Everyone else has struggles. Everyone else has things happening behind closed doors. And I've talked about this on the podcast before, but I have a friend in real life, like my only real life stepmom friend, and her husband got married a few months after us, actually like a month and a half after my husband and I did. And to me, their marriage always looked perfect. She always had a smile on her face. Everything was always awesome. They were traveling. Granted, my husband and I were traveling at the same time. Like not with them, but like we traveled quite a bit too. But I always felt like stepmom life was so much easier for her, and I was just struggling. And I was like envious. I wasn't like envious of her. I was envious of her. And I was jealous that she had it so much easier. Like, how could I be struggling this much? Like, I'm always so good at things. And then we've reconnected. Like, we kind of like parted ways, not intentionally, but like life has happened. I had a kid, she doesn't have kids of her own, and like life happened, and then we've reconnected over the last couple of years. And we are at a really good part in our marriage, and she was talking to me about all of the issues that they are having, and even like blended family issues that they had at the beginning of their marriage. And I was like, what? You did? And she was like, oh yeah. And I'm like, are you kidding me? I thought I was the only one over here like Googling how to get divorced every day. And she was like, oh no, this is happening. And I was like, I had no idea. So you never know what's going on behind closed doors. You never know what's happening in somebody else's relationship. So you might think that other family looks happier. That might just be pictures, that you're getting the highlight reel when you're online. You might think that she's more connected, but maybe you caught her at a good time. Don't fall for the trap of like, oh, they have matching jerseys, so like everything is great, everything is awesome. No. So let's talk about what success actually looks like. I want us to redefine success. Okay? Like, success isn't everyone is happy all 100% of the time, and everyone gets along, and everyone smiles for all of the pictures, and you guys spend family nights together, and no one complains, and everyone likes each other. No. Let's redefine success. Success is respect. Success is emotional safety. Success is predictability. In a blended family, there's always going to be a little bit of like uncertainty and a little bit of chaos mixed in, but predictability as far as like how you and your partner are going to handle it, or how you're going to respond, or how your partner is going to respond. You guys have gotten to the point where like you have a system down and you know how it's going to go. Success is communication. When things are unpredictable, are we communicating? Am I communicating my wants or needs? Are you communicating your wants or needs? Success is progress. Success is people feeling comfortable being themselves. Maybe you have one stepkid that is loud and rambunctious, obnoxious maybe even, but that's their personality. You've got another one that's more quiet, but everyone feels comfortable being themselves. Success is handling, listen to me on this one, success is handling hard things better than you did 6 months ago. Handling hard things better than you did 6 months ago. Success is trust growing, even if it's slowly. Okay? Like, it's not like snap your fingers and then bam, everyone trusts everyone. No. Trust grows slowly. Okay? But we have to be like working towards it or working on it. Success is creating small moments of connection over time. Success is not everybody pretending like they've known each other forever. That's not real life. And honestly, it's a lot of pressure. It's a lot of pressure for you. It's a lot of pressure for your partner. It's a lot of pressure for the kids. I spent years wanting everything to feel easier, wishing away the days, wishing to when you get to the point where like it would just feel like we were a family, or wishing where I wouldn't feel like my stomach was dropping, where I wanted everything to click. I wanted everyone to get there faster. Like 6 months ago would have been great. Yesterday would have been great. I guess tomorrow is the next best day to start to like get there, right? But blended families have their own timeline. You can't rush trust. You can't rush connection. You really can't rush belonging. But what you can do is create safety. You can create consistency. You can create opportunities for connection. And then let relationships grow at the pace that they're supposed to grow. Because like I've said to you, you can have a really great relationship with one kid and not the other, or two kids and not the other, or one kid and not the other two, or however many kids you've got in your family. It's okay. But let the relationship grow at the pace that it's supposed to grow. The more you try to rush it, the more that the kids see that it's forced, the more that they're going to push back. If you just let things happen, if you try to build that connection, that relationship with them one-on-one, you're going to get results so much faster. But I want to leave you with this. Peace isn't the absence of hard things. Remember when I talked about peace isn't equal perfection? Peace isn't the absence of hard things. That podcast episode that I just referenced was a few podcasts ago, but it's not the absence of hard things. Peace is learning to stop fighting reality. Managing expectations here is really important. That's when you stop fighting reality. I used to be like, we need to hurry up and like get through this so we can just blend and click and be one big happy family. But the reality of the situation was we just weren't there. And that is a really tough pill to swallow for an overachiever, for an overdoer, for an overinfunctioner. Like, I'll just try harder. I'll just persevere. No, it didn't matter what I did. I couldn't do that. I had to learn to stop fighting reality. And that's like when you've heard me talk about acceptance, that's what I'm talking about. Just accepting that, like, okay, this is going to take a lot longer than I think. And so when I tell Stepmom Side I'm coaching, go slow. However slow that you think that you guys need to go slower. Because you just need to slow way the hell down. Peace is learning to stop fighting reality. You want everyone to speed up and like hurry up. It doesn't work like that. Peace is also accepting where you are while still hoping for growth. Like you can say like, this is hard sometimes and we're okay. And we're going to get through this. Because again, blended families aren't built in one giant magical moment. Rome wasn't built in a day. And I'll tell you what, blended families sure in the hell weren't either. They're built in thousands of small moments of safety, of trust, of repair. Say something didn't go well and you blow up. It's okay for you to go back and be like, hey, you know what? I'm really sorry that I flipped out, that I yelled about this. I'm working on it. But it's also built in thousands of small moments about consistency. So small moments of safety, trust, repair, and consistency. And those moments, they matter. Listen to me. They matter so much more than perfection ever will. Ever. That's how you get towards being more of like a blended family, being more of a cohesive unit, being more on the inside, feeling more like you belong. So if you are tired of feeling like your blended family should look different by now, ma'am, please come join us inside the Stepmom Side community. Sorry, I just said ma'am. I like call my daughter that like when I'm being funny to her. I'm like, ma'am. Anyway, I'd love to walk with you through this journey. Other stepmoms in there would love to be able to support you as well. Please come join us and I will chat with you next week. Thanks for taking time to listen to this week's episode. If anything was helpful or resonated with you, please share it on social media and tag me. I'm just at Alicia Crasco. And if you could leave a 5-star rating and a review while you're at it, that would also be really helpful. And if you find yourself struggling with your stepmom journey and you want a little bit more support without the hefty price tag of coaching, you might want to check out the Stepmom Side community, which is my own private community for stepmoms, where you get to connect with other stepmoms around the world and myself, where I hold weekly office hours and monthly group coaching. It's kind of like you have your own personal coach in your own back pocket. Again, without that hefty price tag. See you next week.